Christmas traditions, cookies and milk. Today, it's pretty common practice in America to leave cookies and milk out for Santa and maybe even some carrots for his reindeer. Where did this tradition come from? Traditionally, the Feast of St. Nicholas was held on December 6th. In the early days of practicing this feast, children would often leave out treats for Santa and his attendants, who would exchange those treats for presents that they would receive the next morning. Others try to trace this tradition to Norse mythology. Odin was said to have had an 8-legged horse named Sleipnir, and people would leave out treats for him to eat in hopes that if they had food for his horse, that Odin would leave them gifts. In my video on the history of Christmas trees, we talked about paradise trees. People typically hung wafers and apples and other things on these paradise trees, which weren't really trees. They were more like boxes to sort of act out the Christmas story in. But probably the most common theory of why we do cookies and milk for Santa today goes back to the 1930s to the Great Depression here in America. During this time, parents didn't really have a lot of money for toys for their children, so in order to try to teach them gratitude, they would have them leave cookies and milk out for Santa Claus, sort of as a way of saying thank you for the gifts that they would be receiving the next morning. Today, kids in other countries do their own variations on this. In Argentina, they leave their shoes outside for Santa to leave a gift in, but they also leave water and hay for his reindeer. In Sweden, it's believed that gifts are delivered by a gnome. Children are said to leave out a cup of coffee for this character. And in Australia, while the kids do leave out cookies for Santa, instead of milk, they usually leave out a glass of beer. In Sweden, it's typical to leave out rice porridge for Santa to eat. In Germany, they typically just leave handwritten notes. And in France, it's a glass of wine. Interestingly, in some countries, they believe that Santa's sleigh is carried by horses, and in a few places, even by mules. But wherever you find yourself this holiday season, the reason behind the tradition still remains pretty much the same. It's to show gratitude and thankfulness for what you're about to receive. And anytime you get into the hustle and bustle of the holidays, it's always good to stop and take a minute and reflect on the idea of gratitude and how it should be present in all that we do in the holiday season. So this holiday season, if you do put out the cookies and milk, remind the kids that we're doing this out of gratitude to say thank you for the gifts that you'll be receiving the next morning. Merry Christmas.